Hey guys, Jen here. Just wanted to make you aware of a certain interesting thing. I know that the the weather this morning was really cold. It was here in New York. It was like 32 where my town is. When I got up at like 6 this morning, so it was like below. It was actually freezing. So there's definitely a lot of change, and I know a lot of things on Facebook are starting to get a little bit heated. There's a lot of people that have been blocked, removed, you name it, just for sharing their truth, just because it goes against what the corporate CEOs of these platforms don't like to hear. Toting it under ideas of false news, things like that, whatever. Everybody's got a different side, everybody's got a different perspective on things, so it just seems that the one perspective is being overly I don't know how you put it, like they're making sure that only their side and their perspective gets seen, and anybody who has an opposing perspective gets shut down. That's why I don't say a lot of stuff on here, because I still want to use the platform to help other people, and I will speak to people personally if they are questioning my own views and what's going on, one-on-one if I see them, or in a private message. But I don't put it out there because, I'm not the type that would actually put it out there and be like, oh my gosh, and then have, them be aware of me. You can call me like a sleeper cell if you want. But anyways, that's not why I'm getting on here. I'm actually on here because I know that if you're immune or you're not aware of what Facebook is doing, you just look at your feeds. I've been having my feed basically just be positive stuff, because I changed the way that the algorithm is looked at by just kind of unfollowing people that were posting negative, lower vibrational, fear-based things, just because it's just me. I didn't necessarily unfriend them. Some of them I did have to, because they were getting a little too pushy on their views and, projecty. But beyond that, I just unfollowed people, and so that was going good. Now with this whole video aspect on Facebook, the little video icon, I go in there, and a couple weeks ago it was fine. They were like art one. They were showing the art ones. They're, bringing up all these different ones that are actually pretty cool. Now today, it's just one after another. Video of somebody being embarrassed, somebody being pranked on, all this lower vibrational stuff that's just being flooded. And I'm hiding one video after another, and I'm trying to block those videos, because all those people that are posting that stuff they all just want to get the lower vibrational, ego-centered. They want to be like, haha, I want to make fun of that person because that's funny. This type of mindset is being dissolved. So that's why it's being pushed towards the forefront. You're going to be seeing a lot of that, and a lot of that coming to the forefront so it can be removed and be aware, and us be like, hey, that's not cool. I once thought that this was funny, and now I'm second guessing it, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? That kind of a thought pattern. Kind of like when you're off to the sides and you see a kid in school being bullied all the time. Dog. And then you just don't say anything, and then somebody else stands up and was like, no, and then of course you don't say anything because you don't want to be the other target of that bullying. Well, now it doesn't matter. No matter if you stay silent or whatever, you're still going to be targeted, because that energy is everywhere right now. There's nowhere you can hide to be aware of it. Cody, stop. It's a bike. Chill out. Sorry, my dog. They're just bikes. They're gonna go down the creek. Mind you, sorry. It's the father running with their dog, and then the son on his bike. That's cool. Cody, stop. Hey, it's okay. Hey, no. So we're also in Mercury retrograde too. So hey, you're okay, Dakota. He woke up 2 crows that are now flying. This is interesting. Hey, it's okay. It's okay. You're okay. You don't have to protect me. Thank you for protecting me, but it's okay. So anyways, calm down. It's okay. He's all like, oh my gosh, I must protect Master. It's okay, puppy. It's okay. But anyways, so be more aware of what's being fed to you by these platforms, by the media platforms. Because that's subconsciously going to get into your head. It's going to start messing with you. I know it because it happened with my grandmother. My grandmother kept putting her fear projections onto me and my younger brother, and even, you know, making more drama where it didn't need to be. So there's a lot of kind of other weird stuff going on that way. So I'm more of aware of it, but I was also more of a person that's more aware of usually things. Now, start questioning everything too. Question what I say, question what everybody else says. Like, okay, well, why is she saying that? Let me look. This is a chipmunk. Let me look into that a little more. Do your own digging. That's what they don't want. They don't want you, these energies, these people, these platforms. They don't want you looking for yourself. They don't want you being sovereign. They don't want you fighting for your right, or they don't want you owning your own identity or the ability to do whatever you want, you know. They want you to be a someone that just keeps going, that doesn't really that's just used to everything that they put in place, and a lot of that's coming up. So you're gonna see a lot more chaos, a lot more people flipping the frick out, a lot more like, this has to be so, because they're whatever is going on, like I know it's the light that's coming through, but whatever, but like the politics, all that stuff, they're like freaking out about it. But anyway, I'm just noticing it personally in my video feed on Facebook here, where basically the little video there, just, you know, every single one is like bullying, or, you know, one of them's showing somebody getting back at somebody for littering, or, you know, even that kind of mentality. Yes, I know you're trying to make the litterer, the person that's throwing garbage on the ground, more aware of their actions, but doing that and putting the garbage back on them, and like putting like cockroaches on their car when they go into the restaurant so they come out and they get agitated, and like videoing it to show everybody else, that's ego-centered. That makes you just as bad egally, like in vibrational fields, as that other person who littered. What you got to do is you just got to, you know, leave it alone, be at peace, speak your mind, you know, be like, no, that's not cool, but don't go and try to push it all on somebody and try to make somebody feel subpar for doing that, because that makes you just as bad, okay? There are other ways of doing this, and like, I know being able to see the different waves, like the positive, the negative, the, you know, the duality of everything, everybody's got their own way of doing things, which, you know, that's your own way of doing things, but right now it's going to feed into the negative, the crazy, it's going to trigger a lot more people, especially now during Mercury retrograde. It's just gonna, people are gonna get more on edge, especially with the politics coming up. You know, new things having to be put down, like our freedoms being clamped on, things like that. You know, all these different other things that are out there in the ethers that people are talking about and are like floating around and stuff. It's just very interesting what's going on. So I just want to be on here to tell you just to be more aware of what you're seeing and why you're seeing it and how it's being shown to you. Like, if you didn't have that Facebook feed, if you didn't have all those videos coming out, what shows would you watch? Is that something that you would normally make fun of, like making fun of somebody else for doing that, or being like, haha, I would be completely embarrassed if I was that person? That's still you basically being like, that's you. You're projecting, just like that other person's projecting on you. Would you like that done? What I say is, would you like that done to you? And if the answer is no, and you get mad or triggered from it, then don't do it to somebody else. Even if you're trying to prove a point, like that don't litter or something like that, don't do it. It just, if it feeds negative stuff within you, and it's just, your ego, what happens is that your ego center gets a boost. It's like an addiction. And it's like, oh, haha, that made me feel good because I had to show them what's what. And then a couple hours later to a couple days, you feel like crap. You're like, oh, well, you know, I could have handled that a little bit better. You know, that's retrospect. It's good. It's introspect. But you want to take that and you want to be able to change it to the point where you don't keep doing those patterns of being like, yeah, let's do this again, and then feel bad later, and then let's do this again and feel bad later. What you want to do is you want to change that and be like, oh, well, this next time, let me change what I'm doing. Let me not engage, maybe, or let me just send them love and light, or maybe just ignore them and don't feed into it. You might be aware, or just whatever. I mean, it is what it is, but at the same time, try not to feed as much into it. Try to bring them more love and light, like try to sympathize a little more. Try to be like, oh, okay, well, if that was me, I wouldn't want to react that way. I would want somebody to come to my defense, you know, and help me out, you know. Nothing is ever as straightforward or as, you know, one side to the other side as people think that is. We are in a 3D, 4D realm where it's always like duality, but it's not completely duality either, or duality. But anyways, that's what I want to come on here. This little chipmunk's going back and forth, and it's funny because it's just looking like, I have a bird feeder on the front porch there, and it's eating the seed, and it's coming back here, and it lives in this bush here. So it like comes back and forth and gets its mouth full of seed and goes over here because it's getting ready for winter. But anyways, I want to come on here and just tell you guys, just be aware of what's being fed to you on social media and things like that. Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, it's all bought. All of it is bought. We're just using their platforms. It's not our platforms, okay? We're using it, and they can change it up at any point. They can make it so that we can pay for it, that we're going to have to pay for it. They can make it so we only see certain things. No. They can make it so that we're subconsciously inundated with all these other negative, lower vibrational things, and you don't even know it. It's mind control. Same thing with news. Like if you go off of news and you're just mainly on Facebook and things, I've noticed that. I've not done as much of the news, and I've done Facebook, but now Facebook is getting just as bad as that, okay? So just try to step out of it, and if you notice it a little more, just kind of check yourself and be like, why am I noticing this? There's a reason for this. And like, oh, that's interesting. Why would they be showing me this, this, and this? You know, if it's like something that's not going to be necessarily lower vibration, like if you keep getting car commercials, okay. But if it's something that somebody else is like being mean or abusive to somebody else, or it's got kind of that kind of connotation, then be really aware. Because I know the algorithm in the back right now, these videos are being fed more to us to try to get us back into being obeyed, like obeying them or something, like so that we're like second guessing what we're learning and what we're digging up about truth, or our truth, or their truth, or what's going on. I'm trying to uncover all these things about these theories that are out there, and why this is there and that. You know, they want us to just not dig anymore. They want us to just be like, nope, everything's perfect, everything's back the way it was, and that's that. And it's never going to happen. We're never going to be the back way it was, ever, again. There's always going to be something that's going to be slightly different than it was. We're never going back. Can't go back. Gotta go forward. Alright, so I'm going to get off. Love, light, and blessings, everybody. Just, word to the wise, just be aware of what you're being fed through social media in all aspects, okay? Alright, even me, you know. Alright, love, light, and blessings. Namaste. Have a good Saturday. Bye.